Florida Highway Patrol is investigating an accident that killed a 17-year-old Broward County driver in Delray Beach this morning. Troopers say Steven Hoyos of Margate was stopped in a southbound lane of I-95 just north of Atlantic Avenue when another car ran into the back. The driver died from his injuries. A 16-year-old passenger is in critical condition tonight. No word yet, though, what caused the crash.
Happy practicing, motherfuckers.
I've always loved Steven.
If you're having a problem, you know, we'll always slap you in the back of the head and tell you to get over it. Then always cheer you up.
He used to take me to IHOP at 3 o'clock in the morning.
He loved dogs. Like, we would be driving on the road and we'd stop to pet the dogs.
He was such a great person to be around. He had this vibe to him that, like, everybody he was around, like, he touched.
He wanted people to do what he would do for them to do to him.
Steven Hoyos was considered a mentor to many freshmen at Coral Springs High School.
My name is Jose, but everybody call me Chepe. I'm Steven's brother. My brother was a very nice kid, a very happy kid, crazy kid in a good way, hugging everybody. He never shake hand, he always hugs everybody. We did so much stuff together. He was very special.
Steven and I were boyfriend and girlfriend for over a year. We met in marching band. It was my first year in marching band. It was his first year as well. He played the drums, he played bass, the big bass, and I was a color guard girl. So I was twirling the flag and I saw his long hair and I was like, man, his hair is so nice. I wish I could have that hair. And then it was like the first week of school. The girls were in the locker room. We were changing into like our regular outfits to leave because the bell's about to ring. And all of a sudden Steven barges in and I'm standing right at the door. Luckily I was dressed completely and he walks in, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he like threw like a whole fit and I was like, oh my gosh. That night he messaged me on Facebook and like it just went off from there.
My name's Steven Komek. Steven was probably my best friend that I've ever had. I met him back in 4th grade. Played in the school play. He was Prince Frank and I was the king. Both of our names were Steven and we thought it was pretty funny that we could talk to each other and be like, hey Steven, you know? We were little kids, we thought it was really cool. I don't know, ever since then we just started hanging out, we started playing music, and you know, I think what really connected us was just the fact that we played music together. And, you know, it was something that we both loved and enjoyed doing.
My name's Marlena. I was Steven's girlfriend. I met him when I was in marching band. He played the drums and I played the mellophone, and we'd always look at each other and we became good friends at the beginning of the season. As the season went on, we became better friends, and he asked me to be his girlfriend in November.
I first met Steven in band. My first impression of this kid was, oh my God, this kid's crazy. I knew, like, right when I met him that, like, we're gonna be great friends. When he joined the drum line his sophomore year of high school, our friendship, like, took off because we knew him from the jazz band and he joined the drum line, so me and this guy were hanging out all the time. He was such a great person to be around. He had this vibe to him that, like, everybody he was around, like, he touched, like, so dearly. I don't have that kind of relationship with any of my friends now.
My name's Cassandra. I met Steven during marching season in June. We first met when I first came into guard. He used to guide me around the school and tell me where to go, show me where my classes were, teach me what right from wrong. He used to be like a big brother to me. Every time I used to drop my rifle during guard, or every time I used to hit him with my flag accidentally, he would always call me bad things in Spanish. I don't know what to say.
Hi, this is Brett Dawson. I'm the band director at Coral Springs High School. Steven was a student of mine for 3 years in the jazz band, the marching band, and the symphonic band. He came in with a lot of energy. As a freshman, I must have had, I don't know, half a dozen meetings, I think, that first year, just calling him in the office, telling him to settle down. You know, I almost was about ready to just say, you know what, maybe this isn't going to work out, you know. But I kept with it because I could see he had a real passion for music. I'm glad I did.
I've always loved Steven. You know, he came in a couple years after me, he was in the grade below me, and he was just so full of life all the time. I just loved him, and you just look at him and you can just get into the music or whatever you're doing, and you know, he just have these deep eyes and he just like look at you. We'd have staring contests all the time, and you know, he was always asking me for rides, always asking me for stuff in bands, and I don't know, it's like when he got in a car accident, I just felt like I should have kept him safe.
I go down to his house and he has Rock Band, like Guitar Hero, and I'm like, oh, can I play with it? He's like, yeah. So we're playing, and then he's like, this would be cool. And he had a guitar. He was taking guitar lessons, and he said to me, it would be cool if we could do this in person, in real life. Next thing we know, we start a band. We don't have any equipment, and then finally Steven gets a drum set, and that's when he starts playing drums. He hits middle school. He starts playing bass guitar in the school band, and everything. It's just the way we got introduced to music.
We play in a band called Volume. Cover. Stop it. We have no drummer right now because we're still saving up money for the drum. So yeah. All right, here it goes.
I drove to my other friend Josh's house, who was also in the drum line, still very close with Steven and everything, and everybody in the drum line was there. Like we're a family, you know. So I just like instinctively just went over there, and we all just kind of came together.
I was in my bathroom on the phone with my friend Sarah, who had called me, and things were unclear when she called me at first. We didn't know any of the news. So we had a three-way call with Stephen Comek's mother, and she broke the news to me. And I remember I was looking in the mirror at myself, and I saw the reaction of just horror on my face just when I first heard the words. And I didn't believe it.
I was at home with my parents. I found out through text message from one of my good friends, Sarah. She told me to look online, see what happened. First, I went on Twitter because that's where usually everything goes on. All I saw was RIP Steven, RIP Steven, RIP Steven, and that kind of got me. I thought it wasn't true. I thought everyone was playing this joke because you know how they play those jokes where like, oh yeah, this person died, but the next day they're like, oh, I'm still here. Why would you believe that? So the next day on Monday, we were at school and we were just in the band room, just thinking like when he's gonna walk in. He's gonna walk in second period with his hair all wet, come into jazz band and just start playing the drums over and over loud. Seventh period, playing the drums over and over. We can't even barely hear ourselves from the music he was playing, and it was all so good.
I was in Colombia. I was buying him a chair of James, a pink chair of soccer chair, and when we were in my house, I was saying my mom, Mommy, that chair is gonna fit my brother, or you think it's gonna be small? We were talking about that. Then my sister called me, and she told us that Steven died. So that was, I couldn't believe it. I was in Colombia, and the next day at 5 o'clock we were flying back here. It was very bad. I still don't believe it.
I was shopping with my mother over at Publix, and my ex calls me saying, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for? And she's like, you didn't hear the news? And I'm like, what news? And she's like, they got in a car accident. One Steven's in the hospital, other one's gone. And I was freaking out. It was like Russian roulette with my brain. Like, which one's gone, which one's still here? Like, is this like a cruel joke they're trying to play on me or something like that? I went right on Facebook, started looking, and it said RIP Steven Hoyos. Biggest thing that struck me. It was like heart-wrenching. Like, I couldn't imagine my best friend. I only knew him for 2 years, and he was gone. Like, it was the most devastating thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I was talking to one of Steve and I's, both of our friends, Lauren. Well, she called me and she said, hey, are you home? Or like, what are you doing? And I said, I was about to get ready. I was about to go out and run some errands. And she's like, can you sit down? And I was like, what do you mean? When someone tells you to sit down, it's never good news. And so I sat down. I said, like, I'm really not feeling good already today. You know, can you tell me later or something? She's like, Amber, I need to tell you now. And then she just goes, there was a horrible accident and Steven died. And I, like, to this day, like, I could feel the emotions I felt. And I screamed, like, bloody murder. My mom said it sounded like someone, like, cut my neck in half, like, just, like, chopped my head off. Like, it was horrible. Because you never we ended on good terms, that's the thing, and I had so much hope that, and he had hope too, that one day we would be friends and have such a mutual relationship and be okay with one another. And so to realize that I'd never get a chance to even talk to him again was like the worst thing ever, and it still is. He was my first boyfriend, my first love. We were both each other's first loves. My first kiss, my first everything. We started dating October 12th, 2013. We broke up October 22nd, 2014. So roughly 3 months before he died or so, and I still wasn't even completely over the breakup, so it was impossible, and it still is impossible to get over his death. And when we broke up, it wasn't because we weren't getting along or for like a bad reason. It was because I was in college, he was in high school. Our lives were just in two different paths, and it just like wasn't working out. But we tried so hard, and when we broke up, we knew we loved each other like so much, and I never failed to tell him I loved him every single day.
The Mortimer saying, clang, clang, rattle, bing, bang, gonna make my noise all day. Clang, clang, rattle, bing, bang, gonna make my noise all day. All of Mortimer's 17 brothers and sisters came running up the stairs.
My friend Lorenzo over here, he made a mistake a couple months back, and he left with a girlfriend at the age of 17 to live in Illinois. Steven's mother is in Colombia. I'm spending the night at Steven's house. Steven and I were missing him, you know, so we decided, you know, we're gonna go to Illinois. The whole thing was, we drive up to Illinois, we pick him up, and we come back, everything would be safe. As we're driving up there, you know, it's 17 degrees out, we're freezing, his AC doesn't work, so we're sitting there with like 8 layers of clothes. And then we get up to Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, the car broke down. So I remember we had the Tennessee State Trooper was right next to us in another car, and he said, you know, I'll try and jump you guys, see if that's gonna do anything. So he jumps the car doesn't start, and I'm sitting there, and Steven and I are just sitting there looking at each other like, we really messed up. It was actually a long, like, agonizing 3 or 4 hours where we're thinking we're gonna have to tell our parents. And Steven luckily calls the junkyard looking for the car that has the part. And then, you know, the store was gonna close. We had to run 2 miles to go and get this part. We grabbed the part, and we're like halfway there, and then we see the guy who sold us the part for $50. He's like, here, I don't want you guys getting late. He gives us a ride the rest of the way, and we get the car fixed. And we're like so happy, you know. It was like, I think it was $175 just to tow the car less than a mile. We're driving home, we're like, Lorenzo, we can't come get you. We're not gonna be able to make it. We get past Georgia, we're in St. Augustine. And then I woke up, because I've been dozing in and out of sleep. Steven hasn't slept whatsoever. He's like, set an alarm for like 2 hours away from now so we could take a nap. So he does it, I don't even hear the alarm. I'm sleeping and he's driving after that. And he continues driving, and then he wakes me up. We're in Delray, and he said, stay awake with me, I'm falling asleep. We both fall asleep while he's driving. Next thing you know, I hear him freaking out. He's yelling at me, he's like, dude, I hit a car, I don't know what I hit. And like, what exactly you hit? He said, I think I hit a semi, you know, or a bus. The hood is all dented up. There's probably maybe a foot that you have to see over the hood. He pulls over, and I'm like, call your father, call the police, you know, we need to report this accident. And he's telling me, no, my father doesn't know you're here, I have to take you home. I said, what's that gonna matter? You know, you got into a car accident, we're not too far away from home, it's okay. And then he was like, no, it's okay, I'm just gonna drive. And the last thing I remember was we pulled back on I-95. We drove a couple more miles afterwards where the car stopped in the second left-hand lane, and a truck rear-ended us.
Is that better, Stephen Colmack? Huh? Is that better?
After the truck rear-ends us, I remember the ambulance was outside the car, and they were telling us, they were speaking to me, you know? They were saying, what's your name, what's his name, what's his father's number, what's your father's number? I didn't have his father's number. I had my father's number. So they call my father, I tell my father the whole situation and everything. I remember I'm sitting in the hospital, and the nurse comes in, can I see my friend, ask your parents? The lady with the food comes in, can I see my friend? Ask your parents. Ask your parents. Ask your parents. Everybody I've asked said ask your parents. I called my family, I said, Mom, I want to see Steven, you know? He's obviously in the same hospital, and she's like, I can't let you do that. I have to be there for you. And I'm like, okay. So they're like, I'll be there soon. They come to the hospital in about 45 minutes after that phone call. And I speak to them, I said, hey mom, you know, can we go see Steven? And then that's when she told me. She said Steven Hoyos didn't make it. And it was at that point when I realized that, you know, this wasn't, you know, this was reality.
He surprised me with, he brought his band to play at my birthday party. And it was a complete surprise, and when I came home, they just started playing, and it was incredible. It was the most amazing experience because to just have a band playing in your backyard for you, and he dedicated all the songs to me, and that's probably my favorite memory because he was doing something that he loved for me.
I was raised with my brother a whole life. We had so much stuff together. We play soccer, we play music together. We always eat hamburger together. That was like the most things we used to do. We did gigs together, playing Colombian music, going outside, talking about girls. We did so much stuff together, so much stuff. It's unfair that he's gone, and you don't know why. I don't know what's happening. It's so sad.
It still hasn't hit me. Every time I have his phone number still on my phone. I like to just look at it sometimes. I would text him sometimes. I would tell him how I'm feeling that day because it helped me with a lot of problems. I had a lot of personal problems, and he used to help me with every single one. One time, when I was having a really, really bad day, he picked me up from my house in the middle of the night, and I was supposed to be sleeping because there was school the next day. He took me to Target and bought me a whole bunch of stuffed animals. He just, like, giraffes, zebras, everything, and it was just a good day. Like, that day was honestly the best day of my life, and I will always remember that.
Oh, the Taco Bell incident? No, when we were skating up Winfield to come to your house with Taco Bell, I cut in front of him.
Oh yeah.
And Taco Bell goes everywhere. He gets up, he's like, damn it, Abla, and punches me right in the arm. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Start picking up all the Taco Bell and everything.
Oh yeah, we ate it. They didn't tell us about it until we finished it.
Hey, I'm part of the Taco Bell company, and personally, I work as a janitor, but I make tacos too. I came up with the idea for I made the idea for chicken burritos.
Chicken burrito. He would always get the chicken burrito, and then if it wasn't chicken burrito, it was the crispy potato soft taco, and if it wasn't that, it was the potato fiesta bowl.
Yeah, it always
got
bowl.
that.
Always a fiesta bowl. Every single time we would hang out, pop it in the microwave for about, 1 minute, and then come out, blah, 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 and it's gone.
And then this number one favorite thing, that was a limited time only thing, it was when we first started going to Taco Bell on the daily basis. The chicken flatbread. That was his favorite thing. We were always eating it constantly. And then all of a sudden it disappears and we don't ever have it again. I remember on the trip we stopped at a Taco Bell. And we were sitting there, we both had 2 chicken burritos each. And he's like, he looked at me, he's like, you know what I do for a chicken flatbread right now?
My favorite memories with Steven would either be the football games or the States trips, because that was our time, like, we could all just hang out and just be crazy and do whatever.
Y'all homeboys made it to the final!
I never ever had to ask him to go do something. He just kind of did it. and other kids would kind of gravitate towards him and follow. You know, if we needed somebody to cover drum set part, he was on it. If we needed somebody to play a bell part, he did it, you know. And he would just be back there practicing and practicing, and kids would kind of gravitate towards him and then kind of start to follow his lead. And like I said, during lunch, after school, anytime he could find to sneak into the band room, he would be playing something. He didn't waste any time. He went right to it. He wasn't bothering talking to people. He just went right in there and started practicing.
I actually went to go pick up him and my other friend Josh because they didn't have a ride to band practice. And so we were driving back, and we kind of didn't want to like rush back to band practice, you know, because we're trying to be as late as possible because I already had a pass to like go get them. And so we stopped in a parking lot, and so we were just kind of like sitting there for a while. We were just talking, like hanging out. And like the air conditioning was on, and all of a sudden he just like got really cold and like spazzed out and like slammed his hand onto my air vent. And like I had this like really old car, and the air vent just cracked, like the plastic part, like it just cracked. And I just laughed so hard I couldn't even be mad at him. Like even after that, like even though he broke part of my air vent, like it was so funny. I couldn't, like he felt bad about it, but it's just, he was hard to be mad at. It was hard to be mad at. The only time that I was ever actually truly mad at him was last year, like the day after my birthday. I had these balloons that my best friend had given me, and I had them in the band room, and he decided to like cut it open and then suck the helium out, but only suck like half of it out and then like tape it back. And it upset me so much because it was like the biggest balloon, the biggest like pretty butterfly balloon that he decided to pop instead of like the little like sad filler one.
Well, the way he asked me to be his girlfriend, I'll share that. It was the same day we had our first kiss. We were sitting at the promenade in Coconut Creek right down the street. He said to me that like, you're mine, I'm yours, like we're in it together, and like I can't wait to ask you to be my girlfriend. I said, okay, well when is this gonna happen? He's like, well, I want it to happen on my birthday. And I was like, not a good idea, because then if we break up, like it's not gonna be good. So he's like, okay, so like I'll pick a good date. And during marching band competitions, they have these things called happygrams. These announcers will say like, oh, Amber, we love you so much, smile, love mom and dad, or whatever, something like that. So we're standing on the field at one of our competitions, and all of a sudden I hear the announcer go, Amber, and then he said like, you are the most beautiful, special, amazing girl in the world. Like would you make me the happiest guy ever and be my girlfriend? And it said like love Steven or something, and everyone just turned around and looked at me, and I was blushing and I was so excited, but like I couldn't respond to him because I was here and he was like all the way back there, so I kind of just like turned around. So I couldn't even give him an answer. So we performed, and apparently like the band didn't do that good that day, but I did like amazing because I was just smiling from ear to ear. I was so excited. And so then obviously I went up to him and was like, obviously I'll be your girlfriend.
Me and him had like a crazy connection. Like we made up the word oblas together. Like that was the #1 thing we've always said to each other between the three of us. It's just a random name. Me and him were sitting in Mrs. Sirico's class, one of our science teachers, and I'm like, Mrs. Sirico, you're being such an abra. And then all of a sudden, Steven looks at me. He's like, abra? And that's it. The word was made.
Wow, this is Mr. Jimmy Stick.
Jimmy Stick.
Yeah! Jimmy Stick.
He would always come up with like ridiculous ideas, and then we would follow right behind it, and would always, one way or another, would always end up having fun.
It's a good night tonight. We had so much fun.
Steven! Steven!
I'm winning.
We bonded over one single band. It was Rage Against Machines. He was wearing that Rage Against Machines t-shirt. It had like little fists on it. I'm like, you like Rage Against Machines? And he's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, high fives came out of nowhere. Instant best friends, right? he would always sit there and play acoustic, like on his blue acoustic guitar. He would always sit there and play like the randomest songs. We would always sing along and have fun. And I remember one time we're outside of the Winn-Dixie over there by Sam Ash playing music.
Oh yeah.
And the string popped.
And the string popped.
And he's like, all right, you gotta go get me. And he couldn't stop laughing. He's like, you gotta get me a new G string. And I was laughing while skating to Sam Ash, buying a new string for him.
This is an unexplainable riff I came up with by watching Victorious.
Ah! Wait, hold up. Okay, like.
What happened to me was I broke my humerus. I have a big scar on my arm from the surgery. There's a plate with 10 screws in my arm, and I broke a vertebrae in my lower back. That's all that really happened to me, other than a couple pieces of glass in my head. I was crying my eyes out. I didn't know, my best friend in my life was gone. I don't know why, why this had to happen to me. Why did I have to lose my friend at such an early age? It changed my whole perspective on everything. I think of life as, it's not really, something that you play with, it's something that you want to cherish. I just wasn't the same.
Hi Steven, I'm here and I miss you and we all miss you and I know you're up there because you've been an angel from the start and I'll see you soon.
Steven, I love you, man. I know you're up there ripping it on bass and playing with the Angel Jesus Jazz Band up there, and I love you, man.
I miss you so much, and I miss hearing you play the drums. I miss talking to you. I miss your hugs. Just everything about you. It's not the same anymore. I love you so much.
I feel like he comforts me now. And I know he's not here physically with us, but I can see him everywhere. And I know this sounds weird, but I used to have nightmares almost every night, and the day that he died, I stopped having nightmares and I haven't had them since. And I feel like he's just here with me because I've asked him to stay here with me, and he's helping me get through.
Steven, I just love you so much. You honestly helped me through thick and thin, and I honestly still don't believe that you're gone, but you're always here with me, so no matter what, I always will love you. You always made me happy. You never were sad around me, and that's honestly why I love you so much.
Steven, I just wanted to say I love you, man. You were a good friend to me, and we always used to hang out and stuff, so I just wanted to say I love you, man.
I gotta say that I love Steven, and I miss him, and I just have so many memories, I don't know. I just love and miss him.
Steven, you're the best friend I've ever had. First friend, actually. That actually made a difference in my life. You're the reason why, music's a huge part of my life, and you're the reason why I'm still skating, and you've made a huge difference in my life. Thank you very much. I love you, bro.
If I could say anything, Steven, it would be that we love you and we miss you greatly. And that you should know that the other kids who miss you very greatly as well have carried on, maybe almost in your honor, and pursued a high level of musicianship. The jazz band went on this year, even though they were saddened. They decided to go ahead. It was their decision, and play at district and play at the Central Ellington competition at Lakeside, and they've gotten superiors at every single one of those. They got a superior at the state level for the first time in over 9 years. And I said, what a testimony to everything that they've been through, that they would have this happen, with their great friend gone. And we love you, and we know you're in a better place.
Steven, words don't describe how hard this is to continue on and make sure that I'm still living my life, but also living for you. and not a day goes by where I don't think of you and how much I miss you. But you told me to be strong, and so I will continue to be strong for you and be there for your family and anyone else who I can. And I will never forget how much you mean to me and how you're my first true love, and love you.
Every day I think about him. That is so sad that he left me. I miss him for doing a lot of stuff with him. And every day I think it's unfair that he leave, but he need to help us and my family to get deal with this, and I hope one day we play music together again. That was the most thing we used to do and get over it. Yeah. So that's my message to my brother.
There is no fine escape. I'm losing my grip on everything I've made. These things, they aren't the same. And every single day I'm losing the fight and coming to terms with me. I don't want you to ever burn away. Something I can't take.
Our two favorite songs. Always by Blink-182 was our song, and my favorite song was Josie. We would always sing it to us.
Blink-182 posted about the incident on their Facebook page. I thought that was so cool, you know, our favorite band and everything.
Some days the pain's okay. I've lost something here, but gained a bit this way. There's something in the water, there's something in the air, something protecting home. This is my final wave. This is my final wave.
I love you, my cheeky baby. Love always.
Steven, I love you, bro. Drumline for life.
I love and miss you, and then the other one says keep on drumming.
We don't know my brother. We left together, I think.
Hey Steven, thanks for the happy memories and the many smiles. I love you.
Thank you for giving me peace. I love you, Steven.
My baby, you were my always, I was your Josie.
We love you, Steven.
Love you, Steven.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is my final wave. This is my final wave.
If there's anything to say, Steven, I would say, you know, Steven, I love you and I miss you. Nothing I wouldn't do to have you back. You know, I can't wait to see you again and play another jam with you. Just like old times, bass, drums, funk jam, and Pablo running around.